students the best. The students are also very busy ensuring that, look, they don't want to fail, so they are concentrating on what brought them to the University of Ilorin. And the management is also concerned and is able to concentrate on making sure that we give both staff and students the best that we can offer. So with all those three, groups, pursuing what they have defined as their goal, I think that's the major.
Okay, so since the staff are actually one of the engineers of this success story, are we getting 13 months this year?
No comment.
All right, but then let's also get back to the issue of ICT. I'm interested in this because I see that you have devoted a lot of energy and resources in this ICT. But then, one thing that baffles me is when I hear people, maybe friends or people who are interested in the university, whichever way they're interested, talk about this issue of Unilorin students getting PC tabs. Certain issues come up on this. One, people complain that the students are not utilizing these tabs effectively, and that's why you see them that most often they play games on these tabs instead of using them. Because I remember there was a practical example you made that or someone from ComState, when they were installing that of Faculty of CIS, such that when you are teaching, if you flip on the screen, it flips on the tabs of the students itself. That's the extent in which the technology is. And I've been looking up to this. I've been looking forward to this. What's happening? Why are these students, or why is the university not putting in place appropriate measures such that the PC tabs the students are using are effectively utilized?
Thank you. To be able to achieve that, you have to go through some phases. The first phase is to ensure that all the students are empowered with PC tablets. When we started, we didn't want to make it compulsory to all the students. So that's why we started with 100 level students. And I think this year we are going into the third year. So by next year, all our students will be having PC tablets. And that's when you can now go out and implement the case. Because otherwise you'll be teaching in the class and you have to be now doing the arithmetic. I mean, am I in 100 or 200? Do they have PC tablet or not? So that's one. Secondly, the bandwidth that we had was not enough to go around all the students and service them. So, but this year, the council had approved that we move from STM1 to STM4. So that we will be able to carry the usage by all the students, at about the same time. So, and then of course we now have to upgrade the capacity of both staff and students to use the technology. So I think we are, moving ahead.
Okay, Bill.
So let's talk a little bit of political matters, specifically the ministerial lists. During the week, President Muhammadu Buhari nominated the outgoing Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, Professor Isaac Adewale, for a ministerial post. So what do you think Professor Adewale will be bringing to Buhari-led administration since his appointment as VC of Ibadan will be terminated by November 30th?
Thank you. I think it's a good move. He has seen the university system being run. He has operated the university, and he knows the challenges the university is facing. So by him coming on board, there's going to be an added advantage to the educational system. So I think it's a good choice. It's a man of integrity and well respected in this field, and he knows his job. He has moved the University of Ibadan, to greater heights. I think he was here sometime, and he expressed, how delighted he was to be there, and of course, complimenting our own effort here. So I think it's a good choice, and he will do a good job. I know him very well.
And congratulations. We also had one of our professors here who was also nominated.
Yeah. So it's a good homage for University of Ilorin. The Professor Adewale being in the UI and the Ilorin, we have the umbilical cord still intact, and then one of us is also being nominated. So the Unilorin is exporting not only vice chancellors now, but ministers.
Very soon we'll export presidents. and we're pretty sure that if this could be coming at this time, it means that more of our professors and stakeholders in the University of Ilorin, the light is quite bright.
Yes, as long as you do your job well, irrespective of where you are, the product of your handiwork will speak for you. Yeah.
Let's get down to certain other issues before we get back to students. There are a lot of text messages on admission, I can bet you. But then we want to actually first of all thank you for the hazard allowance paid in August. We actually were waiting for more.
Okay.
We hope that will come. We heard rumors that this will be starting off again in January. I don't want to be specific, so that the husbands that did not tell their wife that they received certain amounts, or the wives that did not tell their husband that this was what Unilorin added to my salary, I don't leak their secrets, so that they will not crack my voice at the end of the day. But then certain amounts was added to the salary, which was a morale booster for the staff members. We hear rumor of this starting again in January. How true is this?
What we told the stakeholders was that we are going to include that in our budget, and hopefully once the budget is approved with that inclusive, we'll implement.
But so, what effort is the management really making that this should be approved?
Just the effort we made last year to ensure that we have more money this year to be able to meet our demands. If you look at our workforce, we've been trying to make sure that we give it up to meet the minimum standards set by AUC, and we are going to go all out to the key players to educate them, to plead with them, to do all what we need to do to get it approved. So we need the cooperation of everybody.
Please just use what you used to get more quota for admission for this, because that worked. This should as well work. Okay. All right, let's also get, we also appreciate the fact that Professor Idu, I think precisely, Faculty of Education, or one of the professors was interacting, and they were specific that the way University of Ilorin handled promotion this year, it has never happened. I remember one of the professors was specific that what used to happen was that maybe after 4 or 5 years, they'll tell you if you have been stagnant for 4 or 5 years, apply for promotion. This is a fact. We had people who were supposed to spend 4 years now. When you are on 3 years now, for the non-academic actually, it's been beefed down indeed and enhanced. What's the drive and what's the motivation behind this? That's on one hand. But unfortunately, all those who applied, people who passed, not all of them were able to get promotion. What's happening again as well?
Well, thank you very much. The first one is that we need to motivate our staff. For those that have put in so much, we need to recognize them and then compliment their effort. And I believe that, especially academic staff, once we are able to meet they set down rules and regulations, then you should be given the opportunity. And not also forgetting the fact that the pyramidal structure as set up by the federal government through the NUC is there, and we have to observe that. So once there's vacancy, then people will be promoted. If there's no vacancy, then we wait. Once that opportunity comes, then we take the best out of those that have been stagnant, so to say.
All right, let's quickly talk about the Nigerian youth as a Vice Chancellor. Now, the Vice Chancellor of Kwasu, Malete, that's Professor Abdulrashid Laala, recently spoke on allowing religious tenets to reflect in Nigeria, making Nigeria a haven of sustainable development and peace. Also, the Chief Imam of University of Unilorin, Professor Agasola Dosu, during a lecture, also spoke on the importance of making religion very compulsory, religious studies compulsory in schools. Do you believe that religion helps to canvass a return of morals in the Nigerian youth?
Yeah, I think whatever religious belief that we go for, has the moral content. And so religion has some percentage, of role to play. But the greater percentage is played by the parents, because if you look at the developed world, most of them are not religious. But the moral, code is there for everybody to follow. And if you follow it, the society will be peaceful. Of course, there will be some variance to that, but not many. But in Africa, where you have to use the tools that you have to achieve your aim. And religion is one of those tools in Africa that we cherish. And if we continue to explore that tool, then we'll achieve much. I think, the moral upbringing of everybody is very important. But most importantly, the parents must do their job. If you bring up your children, with good moral conduct, the religious aspects will now blend in easily. But if the moral is not there, through the parents, then you find quite a number of them, not yielding to any religious call.
Because if you look at the Nigerian youth right about now, you realize that most people, especially the older generation, seem to think that it's due to lack of morals, which can be found in religion, that is the result or the consequences of their actions. Do you also think the same way?
I believe that unless parents do their job very well, then their offspring will blend into the moral code of conduct of the society where they live. The situation where the new generation of parents, with all due respect, give the responsibility of training their children to the house help, doesn't help much, because you need to be close to your parents. I mean, we generation of parents were closer to our parents than we are to our offspring. And, so that moral, code of conduct that we inherited or gained from our parents, unfortunately we are not transferring same to our own offspring. We are busy, pursuing the worldly things and thinking that once we have all the facilities, good house, big cars, that our offspring will be comfortable. Comfortable, yes, but the moral aspect, will be lacking. That kind of thing.
So away from moral and religion, let's talk about integrity and transparency. Recently, on Tuesday to be precise, the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Monitoring Unit, ACTU, University of Ilorin, held a workshop on integrity and transparency. So what is the rationale behind this and what's the essence?
The essence is just to sensitize the Unilorin community on what the University of Ilorin stands for in terms of morality, in terms of transparency, in terms of integrity, because we have quite a number of players within the university. We have the HODs, that's heads of department, we have the deans, directors, who are operators of the system, and they all, are involved in one thing or the other in terms of financial transactions, in terms of taking decisions that will affect so many young ones, and so that transparency of doing their things needs to be re-emphasized. And by inviting the two speakers from outside Unilorin community, is aimed at blending in those external independent minds so that they will know what is happening out there in the society.
All right, for those of you just joining us, the program is Talk to the VC. Vice Chancellor, University of Ilorin, Professor Abedeni Bali OON, is in the studio this beautiful morning, and we're interacting with him. We'll take your text messages now, and then Twitter messages, the ones that have been dropped, and then after which we'll take a little break for phone calls, and then we'll get to round off.
You can send your text message to